Hey guys, welcome to day 4 and the end of the test match. India win by a historic 295 runs.
Yeah.
What a margin to win, to do this in Australia against Australia
Banger performance.
in the first test match in a
Yeah.
ground that they haven't lost. I mean, they've only had 4-5 matches there,
True.
but still, I mean, they won by margins in this ground.
Yeah.
Isn't this the ground where we got 36 all out too?
No, that was Adelaide day night.
Oh, yeah, correct.
But Perth, we haven't won in the last two BGTs. Obviously,
Yeah.
last BGT it wasn't used as a venue,
Yeah.
but the last time we played, we lost at Perth. So
Yeah,
this
this
is
ground,
big.
yeah.
Now, going over the scorecard, obviously all of us know it, but just for the sake of uniformity, Australia 238 all out. Bumrah and Siraj bowling really well. Both of them
Yep.
getting 3 wickets. They're also our top performers, which we'll get to. But yeah, India winning by 295 runs. It was a beautiful performance. Everybody chipped in. And yeah, let's get into it. But before that, just get some stuff going in the chat. Hope there's no echo, any of that stuff.
Oh yeah, you guys need to let us know if there's any
Yeah,
problem. Bye. Hi Srikanth, you've been here almost for the
All days,
yeah, all
yeah.
days. You've been here all days. Hi Vignesh, what's up, buddy? Maybe Srishant.
Maybe Shishan?
Maybe Srishant.
Oh. Are you actually?
Oh, there's echo.
Oh.
What? Is there actually echo? Oh, okay. Oh, Alpha dude, don't scare me like that. I've had a bad day after day one knowing there was echo. But yeah, welcome and thank you again for joining us. The format's going to be the same except we have a ranking system. So you would have noticed where every single day we put out top performers, and depending by the end of the test match, whoever repeats,
The
I don't
top-
even know how to explain.
Where
this.
was the top performer the most number of times?
Yeah.
Firstly, by the end of the test match,
and then by the
obviously,
end of the series.
Yeah, so we'll have like a ranking system, and we'll
Yeah.
put community posts,
Yeah.
and hopefully from the second test match onwards,
We also have something for you guys to chip into. We'll
Yeah.
create something where by the end of the series, if you guys win that thing, you might also get something. It's
Yeah.
still in the works. So
Yeah.
we don't want to really talk about it. But yeah,
But
there
yeah.
is this ranking system going around. And coincidentally, the highest ranker of this, I mean, we'll get into that. We'll get into it slowly. All right.
awesome.
So let's talk about, again, a lot of you guys have joined us. So for all of those guys who have joined us for the first time by the end of this test match, we've done this every day of this test match. There is a format. We talk about the positives, the thunder down under, the blunder down under. That's the negatives. We talk about the top performances. And then we take questions from you. We talk to you guys.
Yeah.
And we also now
Top
we'll
it
talk
off.
about what's going to happen in the next
Next,
test match,
yeah.
and then talk about the ranking system that I just told you about.
Yep.
So yeah, and all of this, of course, from India's perspective. So I
Yeah.
feel like that's a given.
Yeah.
But yes, let's get into the thunder down under, the positives for the test match and the day, both of it together. Let's go over it.
Awesome. So I have firstly Mohammad Siraj coming back with a beautiful spell. Of course, he got the wicket yesterday and he bowled well today too. India will be very happy because going into this test match, Mohammad Siraj did not look as comfortable as he once was. We do know that he's done well in Australia previously as well. So it was just nice to have him come and bowl a couple of really good spells. And one thing I want to say is that he hit the right areas, especially in the second innings. He was attacking the stumps a lot more consistently. In fact, I think amongst all the bowlers, there was a stat that Siraj was the one who was consistently hitting middle and off, middle and leg. So great bowling by him, especially realizing that the pitch had a little bit of uneven bounce, and that's why it was important for Siraj to attack the stumps. And obviously, it did pay off. So that's the first thing. Obviously, there's also the second thing, which is the Indian bowlers adapted to the pitch, and they did it better than the Australian bowlers, right? Ultimately, to win a test match, you need to pick 20 wickets, and the Indian pacers out-bowled Australian pacers, I felt, not only in the first innings, but also in the second innings, where they realized that the pitch is now going to be uneven, so they attacked the stumps a lot more, because what that does is it brings LBWs and bolds into play, also chop-ons, and we saw some of that today as well. Cool. Last thing, is that the Indian bowlers have done their homework very well. On most of the batsmen, there are a couple of negatives there, which we'll get into later. But I think there seems to be a clear-cut plan for almost every Australian batter that is there. And it's just really nice because we talk a lot about data and stats, and seeing that being put into the play and the bowlers following and executing their plans well is beautiful to watch.
Now there are a couple more positives that I will get into, and that is that the batters learn from the mistakes from the first innings. We saw Jasprit Bumrah in the post-match presentation talked about how Jaiswal learned from the first innings. I mean, he has an attacking mindset, so for him to keep leaving balls, giving himself that time, but that was expected. I mean, Jaiswal's young; he will come well and good. But to see KL Rahul, who was he had so much pressure coming into this Test match, and he performed in well both innings. I mean, even the first innings he did quite well, and then Virat Kohli from the first to the second, he put his ego aside, let the ball come to him, had the most normal trigger movement, the initial movement that he would normally have, left balls, gave himself that time, and that was really nice to see. In order to perform well, we have made a video on this, but in order to perform well in Australia, we at least need to score in historic basis in Australia. When India have won or drawn a test match, we at least need to score 500 runs, and the top order needs to perform to do that. And in this match, we sure did. And what else? Oh yeah, NKR and Harshit Rana, good picks. I mean, a lot of people were surprised by it. Honestly, we were too. We thought one of them would play over the other, but both of them came good. Harshit Rana, good pace, good aggression, good attitude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun to watch aggression on the field, but he has that pace, he has the bounce, he's very sharp, he's very hit the deck kind of bowler. He will get movement off the pitch. I don't know about swing. NKR with the bat did extremely well in the first and the second innings. High scorer in the first innings, and in the second innings played the aggression role when he needed to, even when he came into bowl. Interestingly enough, I was so fascinated by the Australian commentators comparing him to Dennis Lillee. Did you see that?
I missed that.
Yeah, but they were comparing his action to Dennis Lillee, the similarities and the differences. And Matthew Hayden talked about how if NKR has a braced front leg, he might increase his pace by 5 to 8 kilometers or something like that. He bowls around the 120s. He looks sharper than he seems, which is quite interesting. Mitchell Marsh was hurried, but the speed gun just at 125. So his action is quite smooth. I love his action. It's beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he can make those changes to maybe increase his pace, if he's looking to do that, then good for him. But yeah, great picks and something that the Indian management will keep an eye on. These two guys will need to be taken care of. But of course, this test match doesn't come with no negatives. So let's get into the negatives.
Cool. So negatives, obviously I'm going to be critical, but that's also coming from a place of me being a proper Indian fan. And I'm sure it was a really good test match. Almost everything was perfect. But if there's a couple of things that seem a little concerning for the rest of the series, the first thing is Travis Head and Alex Carey. Now, both of them looked solid in obviously in this innings. Travis Head, more so the way he attacked the opposition, it seemed like the Indians at that point for a brief period of about an hour and a half had not much clue on how to get Travis Head out. And it's not the first time it's happening, right? And that's why it's concerning. Travis Head obviously has taken that ODI World Cup from us. He's also taken the World Test Championship final from us. Yep. So he's a man for big occasions. He gets big runs. He gets crucial runs. And India will want to work out how they can get Travis Head out. They'll want to do their homework. So that's one thing to keep in mind for the rest of the series. Alex Carey too, and they said this on commentary as well, that he's gotten much better as a batter. He's improved his game a lot. He's also got a lot of runs in the recently concluded Sheffield Shield. And so it will be very important to make sure that Alex Carey doesn't pull an Adam Gilchrist on us. He comes in at the same position. He has the same kind of style of play. And obviously against New Zealand, I'd like to say, is where he and Pat Cummins chase down that big total. So he also can be a crucial player. India will just have to make sure that he doesn't get free and get all those runs. That's one thing. Second thing, Sundar struggling with the ball. He did get a couple of wickets, but Washington Sundar seemed very lackluster in this innings, if I'm being honest. Not only was he spraying it a bit all over the place, the odd short ball, the odd change in line, just the fact that he was not looping the ball enough. We saw that in the end, like in the last couple of overs that he bowled. Could be a confidence thing, I don't know, but in general, like after this test match, they might reconsider whether or not they want to pick Sundar for the next game. That's something we'll talk about later. But yeah, Sundar did not seem to fit the bill as much with the ball. So that's one thing that they
it's different if you want to keep the pace, but you can keep the pace and give the loop. Yeah. And he wasn't able to do that.
Yeah. So that's something they'll definitely want to take into account. Cool. And lastly, I spoke about this yesterday as well. And this pisses me off even today is the way that India set their field on day 4 when you have 500 plus runs in the bank. Why are your fielders standing at long on and long off? Everybody needs to be inside the circle. I don't. And in fact, that's also a thing that eventually reflected in the bowling of Harshit Rana and Washington Sundar today, right? Because of the fact that the fields were out, batsmen were able to rotate the strike very easily, which means that you're not going to be bowling at one batsman throughout your spell, or at least for the major part of your spell. And then there's no way to really establish pressure because the batsman just keeps taking singles and getting off strike. And that's exactly what happened, especially in a situation where India have all these runs to play with. Just bring your field in. Washington Sundar was bowling with just one slip, no short leg, no silly point. When he got stuck out, that was at short leg. So, case in point. Yeah, that's all I'll say.
Well said. Now let's move on to the top performances of the day. Of course, it's Siraj and Bumrah, 3 for 42 and 3 for 51. Siraj, it just looked good. It just felt good as an Indian fan to see Siraj back into the attack. Like Pratap said, he does well in Australia. He has an average of about 27, I want to say. So it was nice to see Siraj come back, get into his spell, get Khwaja out with the bumper that he likes so much to bowl. And then Bumrah as the captain, I mean, he even without being the captain, he's the best bowler of the Indian team. And he did his job in the first innings. He did his job in the second innings. And Sanjay Mansrekar was talking about this in terms of how, I mean, I do not know if this is true. I haven't noticed it, but of how Bumrah didn't give the best of ends to to himself, but he gave it to Harshit Rana, who gets more bounce, and he gave the other hand to himself and caught those wickets.
Selfless captain.
Yeah, selfless. Selfless captains. So yeah, do you want to get into the top performance rankings? Oh, we'll do that in the end.
Cool.
But yeah, these are the top performances of the day. And now let's go on from the stands. Let's get questions from you guys so that we can answer them. First of all, hey guys, thank you again.
A lot of you have joined.
Yeah, a lot of you guys have joined, so thank you for that. Any questions? A lot of comments.
A lot of comments, a lot of chatter. But if you guys have any questions or just things to say.
Okay, fine. Shrikant. If I'm right, I believe Siraj is a bowler who bowls 5 good ones and gets smashed at the last ball in most tests. I have seen him play. What do you think is the issue that he can't? What do you think is his issue that he can't build up pressure?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. I think it's a combination of multiple things, right? One thing I spoke about was obviously the field settings itself. Because as a bowler, there are times when you might just bowl to your captain's plan and so the field might be set accordingly.
True.
I don't think Siraj is the kind of bowler to rely too much on somebody else.
True.
But when you have someone like a Bumrah in the squad, you obviously will pick his brain and set the fields accordingly.
Yeah.
And I
also feel like he's a fiery customer. So to just think about bowl the same thing again.
Do you think his emotions get the better of him at times?
Maybe. I mean, that's very subjective. That's for us to only judge and we can never be sure. But maybe, I want to say.
Possible. And this, again, right, like when he's on rhythm, you'll see him bowl 6 balls on the spot. So it could just even be a rhythm thing. It's the first test match of a big series. Obviously, there will be those little bit of nerves, whoever you might be. And just the progression from first innings to even second innings was nice to watch. It'll be interesting to see how the second test match goes because then, again, it's pink ball. So it's a new challenge once again. But if Siraj can get it right there, we know he can swing the ball up front as well. That pink ball will swing more as well. So
let's flip the coin here a bit. We will take questions from you, but I have a question for you guys. So if you guys watched the test match, they did a lot of analysis on Steve Smith when he came into bat in the second innings. In the first innings, we had this exaggerated initial trigger movement, which Steve Smith has always done most of his career after that famous South African series in 2014, I want to say, 2013-14. Yeah. But ever since then, he's always had this exaggerated initial movement, right? But in the second innings, he didn't. And then people were talking about how he might struggle with the outside edge, which is what eventually happened.
Yeah.
Now a question for you guys. I actually forgot the question, but rambling on about this. But the question basically was, I forgot the question, dude.
He does this a lot.
Well, this is just an observation. Let's just put it that way. I genuinely forgot the question.
Damn.
But fine, let's move on to your questions. What changes do you see happening in the Indian 11 in Adelaide?
Obvious changes are Rohit is going to come in if Gill is fit, which I think he should be because the next test match on December 6th, he doesn't have a fracture. That's
Is
confirmed.
what? Yeah, is what
Yeah,
they
that's
said
what,
in the press
yeah,
conference.
that's what said. So if Gill is fit, he also comes back, which means Padikkal is dropped and KL Rahul moves to the middle order and Dhruv Jurel will also unfortunately take the axe. That's what I think should be the changes. Will be the changes, not should be the changes. And apart from that, I think they might switch out Washington Sundar.
Right.
Jadeja might come in, very likely. And one thing is, will they continue with Harshit Rana, Nitish Reddy, or one
get
of
in
them
a,
goes out?
Yeah, get in a specialist fast bowler. Just
Prasidh
because
Krishna.
it's pink ball and you
Yeah.
might get the ball to swing and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sup, are we back?
Not yet. We are.
Oh yeah, we are.
We are
online.
back.
Yeah.
I can't see anything.
Weird. Guys, could you let us know in the chat if you're back? You're back. Yeah, we're back.
Oh, cool.
But
the chat
isn't
isn't
loading
working.
here. It's okay. I'll have to keep it open here only.
Oh, we can do. Dude, we have so many options. How do you know this? Community moderation.
Cool.
Right,
okay.
we're back. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry for this. The Wi-Fi just went out for some odd reason. The electricity is still there. So we apologize.
Bangalore, Silicon Valley of India.
But yeah, I don't remember what we were talking about, but I do remember my question about Steve Smith and
Ask.
of this. Right. So my question to you guys is, we saw the change Steve Smith made from the first to the second innings. And David Warner talked about how usually, there's an interesting stat. Apparently, when the ball is to his pads, he used to average 50 plus. This year or something, he averages 4. Yeah, and that's a major drop. My question to you is, why do you think he has that big, exaggerated initial movement to begin with? I mean, he was fine in this innings, so why do you think he has it? Now, he's talked about this a lot, and so I'm not going to give you a definitive answer because, again, that's very subjective. But I have heard and read something about what he said, but why do you think he has that exaggerated movement? And again, we apologize for going off and then coming back. It's just something.
I am following the chat on the phone till we get it back on laptop. But yeah, like, do you guys have any answer to the Smith question?
But
Doesn't seem like any of you do.
If there's any question.
There is question, what is your playing 11 for Adelaide test for
We answered
India? Yeah, Sudarshan, we answered that. Maybe you joined the stream late. Feeling bad. But no, I think the obvious changes are Rohit and Gill will be back. Apart from that, Washington Sundar might go out and be switched in for Jadeja, which I think might happen given how he balled today. Awesome. Our chat is back.
Yes.
Cool.
Our chat is back. Okay, fine. Right.
So yeah, that's on the 11. They might look to get in one extra seamer,
Yeah.
replace either Harshit or Nitish. Although I think it might be a little unfair, but because it's pink ball, Prasidh Krishna might get a go with his height and the bounce. So yeah.
Shreyan says hand-eye coordination weakening in order to cover that. Interesting. Wait, your answer, is that why he has an exaggerated movement, or is that why he didn't have this innings? My question is, why do you think he has that exaggerated movement to begin with? Abhishek says it's to set up for the short ball, no? Very interesting, but it's not. Just to be nice.
Do you know the answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know the answer from what I've read and heard about what he said. I don't know if that's actually the answer because I don't know if he wants to.
When Smith's in form, he says he's found his hands.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, I do have an answer for this. Prateek says sons of Travis Head are spamming the comments in social media. Yeah, of course they are. I mean, he did play well. He was the best of the lot in the Australian batting lineup this innings. Sudarshan says it's to capitalize on the bowlers when they bowl straight, which is exactly the point. The fact that he averages around 4, I don't know if I heard this wrong or the commentator said it wrong because even they were quite shocked.
Yeah.
But the fact that he averages 4 for balls that come straight to him, and the whole reason he had this to begin with in most of his career is to play the ball that's coming straight, because in his head he knew anything that's straight he could just whip it, and he doesn't do that anymore. And so the fact that he is not doing the exaggerated movement only means that he is feeling it. He knows the ball coming straight at him, his weak point per se.
And the thing also is, I feel like most teams have worked that out about him, because to Smith, especially when Siraj was bowling to Smith briefly, but in general the trend has been that now you're looking to target his stumps and you have someone always catching at like short mid wicket. You always have that fielder for his flick.
Now a lot of people say that it's because he's getting old and the hand-eye coordination is getting slower and weaker. We can never test that. I mean, I'm sure there's a way to quantify it, but that's just a theory. Sudarshan, they think it's an LBW candidate and bowl straight and tend to be error on the leg side. Exactly that. Straight on point. Shivakumar to counter back of length balls in Australia. That is also true. So exactly. So when he has the exaggerated movement, so he goes back and across, everything that's fourth and fifth outside off, his body is behind the ball. Some might say that he should leave the ball, but his body is behind the ball. So he's fine. He's playing in line with the ball.
Correct.
Whereas like someone like a Kohli who doesn't have that, he will play beside the line of the ball. So which is why they nick it to slip. So this is just an interesting story. But again, coming back to your questions, if it's maybe he's slowing down because of his age, it's a theory.
Could be, yeah. I mean, we have seen that as a trend with so many players, but again,
Sachin Tendulkar.
Sachin. Kohli also, I feel like slightly in some sense, Rohit will come back now. Let's see.
A lot of
how he
people
goes.
had a theory of Sachin of the ball coming back in, especially in the New Zealand series.
Jack
remember?
backer. Cool. What else have we got?
Srikanth, since GG took over, I believe all test matches have poor field placement and costed us the New Zealand series, for example. Should there be a back-to-board approach for field placement since we have had better field before? Can I just start off with this? We've seen a trend. I mean, we are critical of the Indian team because we back the Indian team. But even if you look at the Australian team, when Nathan Lyon came on, he has long on. He has deep cover. He doesn't have a long on. I want to say he has a long off, and he has a sweeper. And then Sky Cricket has made this beautiful series on Nathan Lyon. I think it's 3-4 episodes. You guys should definitely go watch. Hey Vasudevan, yes, we are live. If you guys haven't watched that series, if you're cricket nerds like us, you should definitely give that a watch. They pick on Nathan Lyon so much. It's very, very interesting. And he talks about how he doesn't mind a long on and a sweeper because if a batter is trying to take a single off him, that's a risk they're taking. There's no counter to this. Like the interviewer doesn't ask what if they settle down and all of that. But that's his theory.
That's a very interesting theory because I would... Personally, I'm an off spinner too, guys. And I would hate for a batsman to get off strike, especially on a pitch that's offering something. Because you'd want to set up that player, right? Like you'd want to ball as many balls as you can to that player and then look to get them out. Because if you're going to ball one ball and they're going to get off strike, then you have to reset for the other batter. Whereas if you can ball 3 balls and then the 4th ball is a variation delivery or some change in pace, it just makes it easier, I would feel. But again, Nathan Lyon's got 500 test wickets, so he's done something correct. Yeah.
No, that's true, but it's interesting how you say when Gautam Gambhir came because did we have these conversations before?
No. I don't ever remember fields being this spread out when a batsman has just come in.
We have talked about Rohit Sharma's defensive fields before.
Rohit Sharma, but like Bumrah, because he also got most field settings spot on in the first innings.
Yeah, maybe
except for that final wicket. So I don't know. It just
Cricket with Mr. Kaustubh. Hey, we missed Hardik Pandya in Test cricket in Sena countries because he could bowl a few overs and in batting he will be the X factor. Not this match, but in SA, right, in South Africa, right? Yeah, that's true. I think that's why. I think something that Gautam Gambhir's management, I was going to say era, but management has done quite well. Is look at all rounders. I mean, the second Gautam Gambhir became the coach, Sundar was brought in, and now Harshit Rana, Nitish Kumar. Even without these guys in South Africa, when they went to play the T20 series, they had all-rounders in the squad.
Yeah, so many all-rounders.
Yeah, so I think that's something... I mean, we were dying to find some all-rounders, and now we have a pool of them, which is great.
And, like the thing, you're spot on about Hardik. Like, even in England, he got that 5-wicket haul in 6 overs. Sure. Like, Nitish feels like he's of a similar make. With the bat too, he's shown that early signs of being a good batsman. So, it'll be interesting to see.
I have 2 questions. One is interesting. Sudarshan asks, by the way, Sudarshan, I mean, we can link his Twitter in a description, but for those of you guys listening, he makes absolute incredible
Cricket
threads
threads. Yeah.
on players, on pitches, on
Stadiums,
anything
venues.
cricket related. He makes
Yeah.
Twitter threads, which is so insightful, and a lot of the times we also take his help for the stats that we put on in our video.
Yeah.
So he's the guy asking the question. So you guys, I mean, we'll put it in the description. Follow him if you guys are interested. But yeah, he asks, I am only believe in Just
He
Baatein.
doesn't ask.
No. But he asks the
Okay.
question. Do you think Bumrah can be India's full-time test skipper someday after Rohit quits?
Yeah, I think he can. The debate that comes into the picture is all of workload and all of that. He's a fast bowler. He might break down, but just have him. I mean, he's 30. He has time.
Yep.
The other option is Rishabh Pant, but I think he still can get a little bit of grooming and then. So yeah, Bumrah might be a good captain for
that's true.
1 or 2 cycles at least,
Yeah.
100%.
Shrikant says, now a suggestion, could you have something like a group chat for us to discuss this more in text, lol, Discord if possible?
Yeah.
We
So Discord, definitely not. We just don't have the bandwidth and the people to be able to moderate that kind of stuff. But WhatsApp, we'll think if we can do something about
if you
it.
guys are fine with the WhatsApp group, so
Yeah.
there is a trial WhatsApp group that's going around.
Hmm.
If you guys are really interested and
Yeah.
will strictly stick to cricket and like talk about cricket properly,
Yeah.
we do have a trial WhatsApp group going around. If you guys are interested, we can drop.
Yeah. You can do one thing. I'll make an edit to the email newsletter thing so that you can add in your phone number as well.
No.
No? Don't want to do that?
Oh, as in they.
For them to add their number.
Oh, right.
So I can add them to
Right.
WhatsApp.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. Oh, so people can't see each other's
Yeah,
phone
you
numbers.
can't see each other's
Okay, yeah,
numbers.
so we'll do that. If you guys are interested to be part of a WhatsApp group that strictly talks about cricket, Indian cricket and the IPL, interestingly. So we
Yeah,
have a WhatsApp
options.
group with Sudarshan, who's in the chat, the Twitter guy I told you about. So if you want to be part of that, and there are a bunch of people, and this just very fascinating. If you want to be part of that, we'll make a change in the newsletter. You can drop down your numbers, and then we'll add that in the WhatsApp group.
And also,
It'll be very confidential, so you guys don't
Yeah,
worry
yeah,
about
don't
your
worry about
numbers being leaked out and all of that.
oh, and also, like, we'll put polls for this so that we can do it in the best possible way. So just watch out for a couple of polls, watch out for our Instagram stories, and we'll get this sorted quickly.
Yeah, true. Right. And I forgot who asked this. Wait, let me scroll up because this was a good one. Yeah, Shriyansh asked, what should be the 11 in the next match? Okay, wait. Let's just... We are done with what we have to say. Because the test match is over, we're just chilling. And sitting for a bit.
Yeah,
and
I
so we
think-
guys will talk to you. Oh, do we have a WhatsApp channel? Like, that's exactly what we created.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. That's what we created. But yeah, we are going to now chill, like talk to you guys. So yeah, just want to let you know in case you thought we'll wrap this up in 25 minutes. We can do that too, but we'll also talk to you guys for a bit because the test match is done. Right. What's your playing 11?
Playing 11. I'm saying this for the third time. Rohit and Gill are going to be coming back.
No, he says what?
My playing 11.
Yeah, he
like
said
if.
no, because you said this would be or this
Oh, you want my ideal playing 11? I'll just play the same squad. Like they've won a test match in Perth.
but Rohit Sharma will have to come back as a
Yeah, so
captain.
that's a should be squad versus what? No, that's a would be squad.
You wouldn't bring Gill for Devdutt?
Mm,
I would bring Gill for Devdutt.
Honestly, I might just give Devdutt another game.
I would honestly back Jurel to bat number 3. That's
an
what I
interesting
would.
one. That's an
If you
interesting
want the same squad, Jurel at number 3, better technique, solid technique. Yeah,
switch
yeah,
Devdutt
just Devdutt number 5.
I'll
number
agree
6,
with
yeah.
that. Yeah, I'll do that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Stop spamming.
Shrikant, can we talk about IPL auction of yesterday? Interesting to talk of it. Yes, we will talk about it.
Yeah, yeah.
We have a video coming out on Friday about
Hopefully.
it.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it in a bit. I mean, we have the whole day today too. So let's let today get over. If you guys want us to do a live on the IPL auction, we could do that. But for now, let's just stick with the test match just because we won the test match in Perth in Australia. It's just nice to just talk about that.
What is Shivam saying? Should.
My God, Shivam. That's why they said stop spamming.
Guys, don't spam. We'll try and read a
Yeah.
question.
Should Rohit step out of the team? No, he shouldn't step out of the team. He is the captain. He did miss this.
Yeah.
See, that way, Virat missed a whole test series and we won a test series in Australia. We didn't need him.
Yeah.
I mean, people could. I still think we needed him. He could, but we didn't need him at that point. We won a Test series at that point. Did he come back to be the captain? Yes, and it's the same thing with Rohit Sharma. He comes back to be the captain because he is the captain. It's unfortunate that we can't see Jasprit Bumrah leading the side for a long time, but eventually, I hope, like Pratap said, that he
Let's see.
becomes the captain.
Yeah.
Shrikant, the interesting thing is that Jurel has same technique as Virat, so believe the management will back Gill. True.
Interesting. Could you elaborate actually on that? In what
terms
sense?
of technique, yeah. In terms of technique, what do you mean?
Because like from our initial observations on Jurel, he has seemed very compact
Yeah.
and solid in his defense. So like be curious to know what exactly the insight is. Will Ashwin come back for the
Anirudh
ping
Joshi says, will Ashwin come back for the pink ball match? I actually want to see his stats for his pink ball match. I don't know his stats.
Yeah, I think I don't think he's played ping ball in Australia.
Interesting. But would you want him back?
Very interesting. So here's the thing, right? It's not a black and white answer because Ashwin becomes a bit of a liability in the field because of his age and slow moving. So like that's what I'm saying. Like it's not something that would be a deciding factor.
Yeah.
But it depends on the captain's preference for the kind of people he wants on the field.
It's just surprising to me that they'd rather drop Jadeja. If you're talking about batting, right? If you want a batter, like Washington's on the bats well and all of that. So that's Jadeja, dude.
Yeah. Other logic is Australia has all these left-handers, so you want an off-spinner, which is a little ironic because the rough is outside the off-stump for a left-hander that Jadeja would be able to
short
exploit
leg
better.
That would be so much fun. I mean, he's got Alistair Cook out 5-6 times.
Yeah.
They were talking about this in the comps.
Yeah.
Sudarshan, 4 for 55 in the first at the day-night test match in Adelaide 2020.
2020.
What a guy.
Okay, 2020.
4 for 55, right. See, this is why we need Sudarshan.
Cool.
But yeah, so
that's interesting then.
No, see, my logic. So when you talk about the pink ball test, I think of the ball, I think of the pronounced seam, I think of the bounce the pitch might get.
Better for spinners.
Yeah. And I just think Ashwin might just do well. And in my head, also, I'm a little biased towards Ashwin. I like him.
Actually, the pronounced seam is a very interesting point you bring up because Kookaburra balls don't have a very pronounced seam as soon as they start getting old. So from a spinner's point of view, it becomes tougher to grip. It becomes tougher to rip the ball.
But because the pink ball takes a long while and hardly loses shine, it always has the seam with it. So which is why I wouldn't mind Ashwin.
And also the reason it doesn't lose shine is because there's an extra coating of lacquer.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You want to explain
fine.
it?
No, okay, fine. So a lot of people talk about why does the pink ball swing a lot more? Why does the shine stay a lot more?
Yeah.
It has nothing necessarily to do with the color per se or the kind or the way the ball is made, but it's the polish, the lacquer that it has, right? Pink ball is just more shiny in that sense. And because of wind and all that, which we can make a video on. But because of that, there is more swing as compared to the red or the white, which is also why the red ball has swings a lot more than the white ball because of the lacquer, because of the polished use. The way the ball is made is from start to finish exactly the same.
Yeah, just an extra coating. There's actually one very interesting point. So, very similar to the white ball, the pink ball also, you won't see it kind of like roughen up and like go away. It chips off. Like the ball, the lacquer comes off the ball.
Yeah.
So that is there.
Anirudh, chillax, dude.
Anirudh.
Which position do you think Rohit should play when he comes back next test?
Okay, two things now. It's where he should play and where he will play. Two different things, or
where he will probably play.
Yeah.
Let's just hope things can. I mean, I don't mind him opening. See, I understand.
He will open.
Yeah, I understand that Rahul, Jaiswal, they've done this historic partnership.
Yeah.
I still don't mind Rohit opening.
Yeah.
If these guys remain the same and Rohit is okay to bat number 5, number 6, it'll be great. And the selfless thing that he has going on social media will just erupt.
Yeah. Also, we are not hating on Rohit in any way.
Oh, yeah.
Because we did get a couple of comments
Of
about
how we're
our
biased
towards Kohli and not Rohit. That's not the case. It's just based on all of the recent form And more than that, the technical glitch that is there in Rohit's batting right now, where he's not leaving enough balls outside off stump.
Yep.
As soon as that happens, you want Rohit to open because once he's set, Australia has a place to score runs.
Exactly. I mean, we saw that in this test match. Shrikant, these spammers ruin stuff. Huh.
What is?
No, just want to read it out loud. Right. Shivam Bhala Adventures. Should the team back Pujara?
Pujara?
Yeah.
We have a video on it. Check it out. The reason why Pujara won't come back is because of another technical issue which I've covered in a video a couple of weeks back.
Right.
Definitely check it out.
Yeah, check that out.
It's mainly got to do with his back foot that kind of collapses, and that causes him to get caught on the crease a lot. So he's neither forward nor back enough, and that's why in Australia now he might not succeed.
Right. Pikachu, you said, what happened now? Ignoring my comments. I
comment?
honestly didn't see it.
Yeah.
Vasudevan, Rohit is acting like that uncle in family who asked me to get up from the seat in which I sat first. Sudarshan says, Ashwin picked up Smith, head and green, triggering a collapse from 45 to 2 to 79 for 5 last time at Adelaide. Oh, man, what?
Now it's going to come down to if the management want to play another off spinner or if they're
Ready
want
to
play
drop
Jaddu.
Ashwin. Oh, not Ashwin. Ready to drop Sundar. And
Yeah.
Shreyans, what do you think about Jurel be backed more than Sarfraz? I think it just comes down to they're confident in their batter
Yeah.
and just technique. Jurel, when you see him batting, you'll realize he's so much, I don't want to say more solid, but just more compact.
Yeah.
And that is a very differentiating factor.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying Sarfaraz can't bat in Australia. It's just something I think the management have decided, or they're backing Jurel at this point.
They would have seen something definitely in the nets and stuff which would have prompted the move.
Vasudev, when it was a long time ago, is the conditioning still good for Ash?
Ooh.
Now, the interesting bit is something I've noticed in the last couple of test matches, starting from Bangladesh, is sometimes Ash takes a long time to get
Into his
settled.
world. Yeah.
And I don't know if that's age, or I don't know if he's trying to understand the pitch. But that is true. He does take a while to get used to things.
I think he has spoken about how he takes longer in the sense that his knees and stuff take longer to
for his
warm up.
His whole body to get into the motion.
Yeah.
But in saying that, I mean, he's gotten so many wickets. He's
experience.
someone who would love to perform in Australia. He's that kind of bowler. He is that kind of bowler who will talk to the batter, will try different things, will try monkering and all of that.
Yeah.
He is that kind of a guy.
Yeah.
And so in my hope, if he does play, I'm sure he'll be on it from day one. It was long time ago. It was 4 years ago, but that's the same reason you're backing Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, because, I mean, Rohit Sharma did perform against England, but even Virat Kohli for that matter. He performed long time ago, but you're backing them because they performed, experience. They know what to do.
Yeah.
Sudarshan, he took 12 wickets so last time in Australia, 3 games. That's true. Didn't he outperform Line in that series? I want to say he did. I made a whole video on this, but I'm not sure which year that was. Cricket with Mr. Kaustubh. Bro, I have a doubt. Would there be wobble seam and kookaburra ball? Pink ball? Yes, there will be. Wobble seam doesn't necessarily depend on the ball, is what I want to say. Because we've seen white ball wobble.
Yeah.
Wobble seam is basically the way the ball is released off the bowler's hand at the wrist position. So it's the way the bowler holds the ball that causes wobble seam rather than the type of ball.
Another thing that might make a difference to wobble seam is the weight on either side of the ball, right?
True.
Like if you're shining the ball more only on one side, there's more sweat there and all of that. There will be a little bit of weight difference that might cause the wobble. So
Jurel at number 3 is stupid as it sounds. Blood is getting 0 and 1 at number 5.
but
I mean,
you can't be judging a player of one performance. Like you're forgetting what he did in the games against Australia when
against Australia, against England.
Against England,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying Australia if you want to look at him in Australian conditions. So, yeah.
Vasudevan, what has the world become now? Indians can't play spin in India and Aussies can't play pace in Australia. What's next? A cow flying. This is very interesting because Pratip and I were talking about this. This win doesn't hide the fact that Indians can't
play spin.
struggle against spin. Like that is something they still need to work on. Because eventually they'll need to come back home and play in the same pitches that we lost against New Zealand, unless they're ready to make true wickets where Indian
just make
batters
true
can
wickets.
flourish. And our Indian bowlers are good enough to take those 20 wickets.
Yeah.
Sudarshan, Aussies can play pace in Australia, just that they came up against Jasprit Bumrah. 100%.
That is true.
That is true.
Like Bumrah looks at a different league compared to not only Indian bowlers, but even the Australian bowlers. Like he just seems a notch above the rest. So
I'd want to see India, South Africa. At least a 3-match test series where Rabada and Bumrah go against
at
each
it,
other.
yeah. What else have
Ashwin
we
got 12 in 3 games. Yeah, but Lion got 9 in 4 games. Exactly. I thought Ashwin did get a little more wickets. Top 10 shots, wobble seam, swing with control is a skill. 100%.
Yeah.
Wobble seam, swing with control is control with line and length, because a lot of bowlers have said this with the wobble seam. Even they don't know where the ball is going to go, which is what makes it so much more tougher for the batter, because if the bowler doesn't know where the ball is going to go, where will the batter know? Vasudevan, say it, Sudarshan. Bumrah is better than... Let's see Sudarshan's reply to that. Shankar says the team is now working great with... Will Rohit coming back change the dynamic because he wasn't able to fire up last 2 series?
Very interesting question. Ashwin and I had a conversation of it just before this live, of how Rohit and Gill coming into the squad will change the dynamics of the batting order a bit. Right? KL Rahul, who was earlier opening the innings, was playing the stability role. Now Rohit comes in, who is more of a natural attacker. So it'll be interesting to see if now Rohit goes into that role of playing someone who can leave the ball and just take their time, hold one end up. That comes in, and then Gill, slightly, I won't say very different from Padikkal in the sense that they would still put away the bad balls. So Gill is still okay, like that still feels a little like for like. But Rohit coming in is going to be interesting to see what role he goes up with. Yeah.
Sudarshan, you couldn't be more diplomatic by saying you haven't seen McGrath, so you don't want to comment, as if that stopped us from talking about past players. Raghuram says Australia plays more pink ball matches, so experience wise they have an edge. Isn't it something ICC should look into? It's a thing, it's a fixture that boards decide amongst themselves, and it's not an ICC thing per se. They could just suggest something, but the conditions in Australia are just suitable for both. I mean, I don't want to say that. I'm not sure about that.
So the thing is,
give me the ball. I want to talk about the wobble seam a bit. But go on.
Thing with pink ball tests is, I was doing a little bit of studies on this, and Australia obviously were the first to kind of adapt this. They even did a women's game with the pink ball and everything. Limited overs that too. The thing is, it's the boards, right? Indian board for the longest time was rejecting pink ball. Only recently have they started going for pink ball tests. That too not in every test series. It's only when the opposition board also proposes the idea of pink ball. With Australia, pink ball has always worked also commercially, because the broadcast just comes at a better time for us. And so that's what
true.
it is.
That's true. And even when England played, I mean, in the Ashes, just the build-up of Ashes and the pink ball just helps. Now, to give you a little perspective on... What does Sudarshan say? He said Bumrah is probably the best Indian test cricketer ever.
Whoa.
Something along those lines.
Okay.
To play test matches for India. I missed his text. I should probably scroll up. But wobble seam, just to give you a little idea of what wobble seam, how to release a wobble seam. So if I'm the batsman and if you're the bowler and holding the ball like this. So you would hold the ball like this for either making sure that you're releasing the ball seam up or anything. If you're using your wrist for in swing or out swing. So close to... You'll have your fingers close to each other and all of that. Wobble seam is just this. You open up your hands a little bit, and so during release, you're not necessarily releasing on the seam, which is why when you release, there's a bit of a wobble. When the ball comes. So there's just a bit of a interesting perspective on how a wobble seam is bowled. Anirudh, but you... Okay, I have no idea what the conversation was, so I'm not going to... Cricket with Mr. Kaustubh. I liked KL Rahul's innings because the way he grinded the innings and was a good mentor. For Jaiswal, KL set up the innings for the upcoming batsmen, 100%. I mean, Jaiswal spoke about this in the post-match of how KL Rahul almost every ball and every match talk to him.
Yeah.
And KL Rahul in that video that BCCI made talked about how it almost felt like he was Jaiswal 10 years ago. And it was just, it was very nice to see them have that bond and go about it. Vasudev and Sudarshan, who are you? Nation wants to know. It's me, Dexter. This conversation is brilliant. How old are you guys? How does age matter?
Old enough to be
Yeah.
on YouTube. But yeah, old enough. We've
Raghuram,
completed
does
degrees.
Harshad Rana look good under pressure? Can he hold up the pressure on one end without spraying and leak runs?
Interesting.
Very good question.
Yeah, solid question. Honestly, I have not seen enough of Harshit Rana under pressure in red ball cricket
Yep.
to have a verdict on that. But today he was spraying it just a little bit. Having said that, his attitude was still good. Like his pace was still up. There was an over where he went from 133 to 145 clicks
Right.
in the middle of some third spell or something. So, yeah, still early days. I don't want to pass judgment on that too soon. It'll be interesting to see probably when the test match starts getting tighter and tighter as the series progresses. And if Harshit Rana gets more games, then we'll probably know.
Right.
So-
Now, before we pick up a little more of your question, first of all, let us know when you want us to stop, because we can stop anytime. But before we talk about that, we have the top performance rankings. Let's do that.
Yeah.
So, if you guys were not there in the beginning, top performance ranking is every day we pick out two top performers, like you can see on the screen.
Yeah.
And by the end of the test match, whoever gets the most top performances, they'll be ranked. And by the end of the series, whoever's the most, they are basically the winner.
Yeah.
We will also try to have something where you guys participate. So we will also plan something on that where you guys can possibly win something.
Yeah.
Again, like I'm not making any promises. We will decide and properly tell you so that we don't fall short of our promise.
Yeah.
But talking about the rankings, NKR, Harshit Rana, Jaiswal, Virat Kohli and Siraj have all won 1 point for the top performances. They've got ones. And the topest performance of this test match also coincides with the man of the match of this test match, and that's Bumrah. He's been the top performer thrice this test match already. Which means he's 2 points ahead of everybody
Everyone else,
who's called the top performance and 3 points ahead of everyone who hasn't.
Yeah. And fittingly so.
Yeah, fittingly so. I mean,
yeah, so-
he turned the tide. So we will have a community post where we have this rankings and we will update this after every test match. So watch out for that.
Yeah, and on the community post, definitely watch out for those posts because all of our live updates, everything will go there. Just interactions with you guys, what you want to see, what we can do differently, all of that will be there. So watch out for that.
Yes.
And also Instagram stories. So.
Oh yeah. Sanskar Yadav, hi, hello, and thank you for. Don't say fan. As long as you like our content, it's great.
We're just chilling.
Yeah.
Come to the
Anirudh,
channel.
do you think Shami comes in the next match? I don't know. He hasn't
interesting.
flied to Australia. I don't think
he hasn't
flown.
yet.
Yeah, I don't think he's flown to Australia as of yet.
Yeah, so with Shami, interestingly, now the red ball, there's no matches. He's just probably practicing.
I'm playing
He's
smart.
playing smart right now, so it'll be interesting to see. I think it'll come down to more of if the team feels that they need him.
Yeah.
He will be a great addition, obviously, but in terms of if he's there yet, fitness-wise, it'll be interesting to see, I think.
Just a little personal question. Are you guys fully committed to this channel or is it just a hobby? We are completely committed to this channel.
Yeah.
We do this
Full time.
full time and full day thinking about what to do next and research and all of that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's hard work because there are people working harder.
Yeah.
Always.
Fun work.
Yeah, it's fun work. It's 2-3 videos per week and reels almost every single day on Instagram. So if you don't follow us on social media, go do that too. It's in our description below. Raghuram asks, let's make some noise that reaches team management not to push Rahul to number 5. Kohli will be comfortable in number 4. If someone like Rahul holds one end on top, Rohit can play at number 5 and the ball is all.
Yeah,
Which
spot on.
is true.
Yeah, that's true. But that's why I'm saying, like, when Rohit comes back.
But
it'll
there's
be
also a
interesting to
reason
see.
why Rohit started opening because
Yeah, he's a banger opener.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. Like, first test match that he opened in got double hundreds. Got 200s in 2 innings. So, yeah.
in each innings,
yeah.
Zenith Rao. Bumrah done very well bowling short spells. True, but There were times when he went on for
Bumrah?
longer than he should have.
Yeah, there were a couple of spells where he bowled 6-7 overs when he should have probably stopped at 4 or 5
Yeah.
overs. But yeah, like I think if he felt 100% doing that and not like a strain on
I
himself,
think that's fine.
that's fine.
Pikachu says Siraj will have a 5-4 and Nitish kind of bowls like Thakur, so he might get a 3-4 and shows his presence. But Bumrah might get 8-4 in a single match. For Bumrah being Bumrah as always.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, if the conclusion is that Bumrah might get more wickets, yes. Any more questions? Any more questions, lads? Any technical question that you want to ask? Want to test our brains on? I'm not saying we'll get it right or we are right, but we will try to be accurate as we can. Maybe a bit personal. Is it sustainable? And 2, in the phase you are in right now, not that big reach as of yet. I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's not.
Drop us a DM. We can actually discuss this. Yeah.
Yeah, we are still growing, so it'll take its time. Cricket with Costume says, I've noticed that when Indian openers give a good start, VK will score 50 or above. An example is first test against New Zealand, he scored 70 runs, and this match again, Australia scored his 81st century.
Yeah. Cool.
I mean, as a number 4, you would hope for a good
That's
start,
what I
and
wanted to
usually
say.
when you would get a good start, you would want to bang on that. And that is what happens as a batter.
Yeah, like this innings, the second innings that India played was probably the best opportunity Kohli is going to get the entire series to have come out and made a big score, and that's exactly what he's done.
Right. Shivam, should KL open, then Ward 11. We have talked about this. If you haven't seen it, you can just scroll back, but he might not open because Rohit Sharma might come back, but if he does open, then Rohit Sharma bats number 5, number 6. That's the end of it.
Yeah.
Should they get Akshar Patel in India vs Australia squad? He can play WTC finals. Sachal? I don't think they'll get Akshar Patel in.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
they're struggling to play Ashwin and Jadeja. So I don't think they'll bring Akshar in. I mean, he sure can play WTC final, but Washington, Ashwin and Jadeja can play WTC final. And it is in England, so I don't see the reason why they'll suddenly bring in Akshar unless there's an injury.
honestly, there was no reason to get him out of the squad in the first place, but
Take Shrikant's question. What is Shrikant's question? Shrikant, do you mind asking the question again? Take that. Wow, everyone's saying Shrikant's question. What is his question?
can someone copy paste the question and put it like right now?
Yeah.
Preferably
Shrikant ka le lo
Shrikant.
question. Wow, how is everyone on Shrikant's question? What is Shrikant's question? Shrikant, what is your question? We'll wait till his question.
Is Shrikant not here
Yeah,
anymore?
is Shrikant not here?
Damn, can someone get his question here?
Oh, a wild theory, since Sarfaraz is a bit large in size, does it limit his ability to play pace? Just a question, not sure how it works, or is it just a trigger movement which he can't play pace well? Very interesting.
Yeah.
Do you want to take this?
I'll say one thing, then you can take it away. Inzamam ul Haq was of a similar build, but he scored all of those runs. He was fairly comfortable against any kind of bowling. So I don't think how you are should make a difference, because these guys practice a lot of agility drills and all of that. So it's not like he's just come in and he's just playing a certain kind of way. But what do you want to add to that?
What I wanted to add is the built-in size, I mean, a lot of people say he's not fit or whatever. I mean, so as a batter, it doesn't really matter what size you are as long as your bat speed is at a certain point, right? And if Sarfaraz Khan can have a bat speed that is well enough for him to play pace, then well and good. Because someone like a Nishant Sharma, who's not that stature, if you look at him, you would honestly know that he doesn't have that bat speed as someone like a Sarfaraz Khan or someone like a Virat Kohli. Just an example. As a batter, as purely a batter, if you're just put in there, you don't have to run, you don't have to field, you don't have to do anything. And if you're just put in there to play pace, you just need bat speed. And for bat speed, you can just do drills. And you don't need to be of a certain build, certain fitness, none of that. I mean, I don't want to say none of that. I'm sure there'll be someone who disagrees and explains it even better. But in my head, and just theoretically, it just makes sense to me. You can just increase your bat speed. And that's a lot to do with your hands and your eyes and your legs.
Lot of
Sure, if you are fitter, it might be easier to get to that level.
Yeah.
But if you're not, it might just take a long time for you to get to that level. In my head, it makes sense. The theory makes sense. But it's mostly to do with bat speed.
Also, you want to
No,
add
no, go
something?
on.
Yeah, like that doesn't mean that a batsman can just be like beyond a certain point of heavy or something like that, because at some level that does
Yeah, yeah,
impact your reflexes and
yeah,
everything, and just
100%.
how
Yeah,
you move towards the ball, right? If you have to get a big stride or something like that, you just have more weight that you have to carry onto
yeah,
your front foot, and that'll affect things like balance and all of that
yeah,
comes into the picture.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Of course, I'm not saying fitness is not a thing. I'm
yeah.
saying predominantly it's a lot to do with your bat speed.
Hmm.
Also, Sarfaraz Khan's trigger movement, which is it's a very interesting question.
Hmm.
His trigger movement is so low, which is
Yeah.
such a rangy thing to
It's
do.
for a very subcontinent
Yeah,
pitch.
yeah. And a lot of people have dissected this.
Yeah.
So he might have to, I'm sure he would have done it already because he's
Playing-
batting in the nets, played those practice matches.
Yeah.
But yeah, to play in Australia, he might have to change that. So if this is your question and there are two components, I would say trigger is more of something he needs to work on than his belt.
Hmm.
Not saying it, but there are very less batters who are large in size have success in modern era. I believe in international era. So I
Yeah.
believe it was an exception. Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, Inzamam
Yeah.
was
Yeah, definitely an
an
exception.
No,
Yeah.
but the point of his was it's a lot to do with
It's more than just your build.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of drills and a lot of that comes into the picture, because like if you see a behind the scenes practice of these guys, like they're doing like insane amounts of shadow batting and just like drills for just like your
Bat
hand
speed,
speed,
yeah.
bat speed and all of that, like just hitting 100 balls back to back, stuff like that. So yeah.
And the other thing is, the other thing is, I think Sunil Gavaskar's, I mean, I'm not sure if he said this, but he did say that how people, when Prithvi Shaw was dropped, he was dropped in accordance to his fitness and when Sunil Gavaskar said, why does fitness matter if you can score 300 runs and all of that?
Yeah.
Because you're not just a batter or not just a bowler, you're also a fielder, and that's why fitness matters a lot. You're going to run behind the wicket. There was this Alex Carey caught in Big Bash. I sent you a reel of this. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw this in Big Bash. He ran for about
Oh yeah.
a lot of meters, took that catch, and that's just because of his fitness. If he was built different or built heavier, he may not have reached there. So
Kohli has also spoken about this, how fitness is not just like something that they need to do for a certain reason. It's so that you can make or you can reach the ball and make a diving catch, a simple catch right into your hands, because you just get there faster.
and Breakfast with Champions with Gaurav Kapoor.
Yeah. Oh, and also one more thing, I just thought about this. Australia has huge grounds where the ball is not going for 4; it's just going for 3 a lot of times, and you need good fielders who have good stamina, who can keep going, getting the ball, coming back. So
if Sarfaraz Khan can do all of this with the way he is, then he is fit. I
Yeah.
mean, it's fine. If he looks a certain way, but he can do all of this, then I don't think it's an issue. Vasudevan, Kohli has just changed the culture of this team. Agreed. A lot of people might say Saurav Ganguly started off with it.
aggression, yes.
Yeah, but fitness, 100%.
Fitness,
Yeah, Virat,
100% Kohli.
I mean, there were fit players before, but just everyone to be fit and making mandatory
A benchmark
tests and stuff. Yeah.
What's
Video idea how fitness is important in modern cricket. Would love your idea, really, Srikanth. That is a very good idea. We could possibly do that. Thanks for that.
What's Vignesh asked?
Vignesh. Oh, Vignesh Chandrasekharan asks, can you break down Travis Head technique? He is not completely committed early on either of front foot while playing the ball, which allows him to score on the faster pace.
Yeah, so obviously Travis Head has grown up on Australian pitches. He's always grown up on bouncy pitches. So he likes to I won't say hang back, but not fully commit to the front foot. And you'll see him playing fairly late.
Yeah.
And that
He
is
plays it so late.
Yeah, that's a trick. Not a trick, but that's something that you'll see as a characteristic of batsmen who are scoring runs in Australia,
Rahul
in
Yashasvi
England,
as well,
in South Africa, everywhere. Play late whenever there is swing, seam, when there's bounce, because it's just easier. It gives you that extra time.
Yeah.
So that's the essence of his technique. We'll obviously get into it. We'll break it down. If you want us to do a video on it, let us know.
Interesting bit is if you're playing very late and if it swings or seams, you're more often than not going to miss the ball than edge the ball.
Yeah.
Which is something that happens when you're playing very, very late. Couple more questions and then this will be it. We've been going on for an hour
Yeah,
almost.
yeah.
So yeah, couple more questions. Again, thank you so much for joining us. I know you guys are already packed, but can you do a live after the auction day? Shankar Raman.
Oh, today.
We could possibly. we'll think of it. If we
Yeah.
do it, we'll put out a community post.
Hmm.
If we don't do it, then we definitely have a video on it coming up this weekend.
Hmm.
Friday, that is. Vasudev and I have Travis Head in my nightmares, PTSD.
All of us do.
Yeah, a lot of us do. Anirudh says, I think Optus had slow outfield. That's why the
Hmm.
dearth of boundaries.
Yeah.
And honestly,
sure.
I don't mind it. I personally don't mind it. I think it makes the batters run, and I just loved watching that. The batters had to earn their runs. I'm not
Yeah.
saying the shots weren't good enough to earn
Some
their
of the
runs.
shots were so crunchy
Yeah.
and they've not gone to the
Yeah,
boundary. That's
that's
when
true.
it felt a little like.
Yeah, but
Oh,
there are
but-
some boundaries in India that you do anything and you just get a 4 for it. So I
I've
like
seen
this.
I've seen
I like
Kevin Peterson top edge a ball from Umesh Yadav. Like it's hit the top edge and it's gone for 6 to third man.
Yeah, so I don't mind this
This
at
both
all.
ends of the spectrum.
Shrikant, I mean, can you be live on auction? It'll be more fun.
Whoa, watch along. Hmm.
That could be fun.
Yeah. We'll discuss it.
Yeah, we'll discuss. See, the only problem with that is,
Hmm.
I mean, there's no real problem with it. Yeah, we could. It will be more fun.
Yeah.
It starts in 30 minutes.
Damn. Reconsidering.
No, yeah, we'll think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something we do want to cover. Obviously, is the IPL auction.
Yeah.
If you think you want us to, we shall.
Hmm.
Vasudevan, Sudarshan, live during auction would be more fun. Would have been more fun yesterday. He tagged
Yesterday?
Shrikant.
Yeah.
So they're having a conversation.
Yeah.
Vignesh, Bumrah's celebration after Travis Head's wicket says it all. Oh yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
was an important wicket. He was batting really, really well.
Hmm.
Vasudevan is kind of 8 hours. Yeah, exactly that. That's my only problem. That the auction is
Auction.
for 8
Yeah.
hours.
It just goes on forever.
Yesterday, some of the bids just took a little more longer than it should have. And I know a lot of RCB fans were a little irritated by the person conducting the auction because
Hmm.
there were times when she could have ended it, but they kept asking. I was around the RCB cafe in Bangalore and I could see frustrations and it was just lively to watch. Raghuram Jaiswal, even in the second innings, flash him outside off. Should it be controlled or coming along with package and let it be?
Hmm.
Oh, right. So, it's something that Bumrah did talk about in the post-match of how Jaiswal is naturally very attacking. And for him to even leave those balls in the beginning is such a learning curve.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to change that is a question he would need to ask that. But I think as the Indian management, you need to back that. The fact that after every time he scores 100, he goes on to score 150 plus is the reason. There's a reason why he gets those boundaries. There's a reason why he can attack Stark and Cummins.
Yeah.
He's just naturally attacking. You wouldn't want to curb that down. You've seen this with batters coming out of Bombay,
Yeah.
especially someone like a Sachin. He was very, very attacking in the beginning.
Yeah.
They themselves curb it down
Curb
after a
down,
while
yeah,
because they realize they want to score more runs.
More
and
runs, yeah.
It'll eventually happen. But for now, I don't think anyone should say tell Jaiswal to curb that down. I think it's just a learning curve.
Yeah. Fair.
Shrikant, because all this year they went for huge bids. Sudarshan, very bad auctioneer. I don't want to say anything about that. Shreyas definitely not worth it.
Whoa.
You know what? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, no other Indian potential captain. Delhi and Punjab both want Shreyas back. They've both played for him.
Ponting.
Yeah, Ponting and Delhi. It's-
KKR captain.
Yeah, winning
so
captain.
Winning
so
captain. So.
brand value maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Plus SM80, he is scoring.
Yeah. The day before the auction, he scored 100 and smat. So.
That probably gave him like 2-3 crores.
Yeah.
more.
Zenith says Tripathi, Conway, Rachin came low price. Is that because they're more lethal in slow and big bouncy conditions? Possibly. I mean, Rachin and Conway have done well for Chennai.
Yeah.
Tripathi is an Indian batter and he's a very...
Tripathi is a mixed package, right?
Yeah,
Like
he's technically very... He's okay.
interesting. Like he, especially since his like bat lift
Yeah,
has
yeah,
gone
yeah.
like way higher.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy who can come in and give you a really good knock on his day.
Unless
So,
he opens for you, he's done that for more often
most
than
of
not.
us, yeah.
Alright, so now we're talking about the auctions. 5 more minutes and we will let you guys go.
Yeah.
Again, thank you so much for being here. Oh, by the way, give us a yes or a no. The first test match is done.
Yeah.
And our plan initially was to take it a test match at a time.
Yeah.
So let us know if you want us to do lives on like every test match.
Yeah. Every test day.
Yeah, sorry. Every day of the test series. because the next test match starts
6th.
India time.
Yeah.
To be honest, 9 a.m. I think is the start, so ends at 4:35. I want to say.
Yeah.
So we will have live around 5:30. The test match after that starts at around 5 a.m. So again, so that's basically it. So we'll have to adjust the timing and all of that. But
After
let
that,
us know if you want us to continue doing these lives every day, please. All right. Yes, you have. Yes. Thank you so much for that. Yes, I'm interested.
That's really nice to see, guys. Very encouraging for us.
Yeah, it is
because
encouraging for
our
us.
first set of lives in the New Zealand series,
Yeah.
we were like
And we
not.
didn't.
Yeah, we didn't expect anything, but
Yeah.
it's just nice to see this turnout. So thank you
that's
so
true.
much. Yeah.
We'll also put a poll
Hmm.
and for you guys to answer that. So
Yeah.
if there's more, yes, we'll continue doing this because we do want to do this irrespective of match day or not. You want us to do a live irrespective of the match day or not?
I mean, sure, if there are topics to talk about and there's some interesting stuff that you want us to do,
that we
yeah,
could
we
possibly
can.
talk
Yeah,
about.
we can always.
We could do a live. So irrespective of the match. Oh yeah, Bangladesh series. Wow, Vasudeva, dude, you're odd point. We did live Bangladesh series,
Yeah,
not New Zealand.
New
But
Zealand, yeah.
we could do a live once a month, like when there are no test match days. I don't think we'll do like
Yeah.
T20 series and all of that. But once a month, like we'll put
plan
on
it,
polls.
yeah.
You just answer. But this test match stuff, we will need
Yeah.
you guys to answer that. Bro, WhatsApp group would be fun nowadays. If no live, as that will be fun to chat about
Yeah.
it. 100%.
100%.
Alright.
Hmm.
So we are going to finish this. Let's talk how Australia media crisis. Shrikant says live weekly 2 times. We'll talk about this. Okay, fine. So before we conclude, there are a couple of things you guys need to remember, right? Hey, you're watching from Canada. That's damn cool. We have someone. I think Vasu is from
Vasu
Canada.
is also coming in from Canada, right?
Someone from Canada, people from the US. Thank you so much for watching us. Right. Before we stop this, there are a couple of things you guys need to remember. After every test match, we'll have a ranking system.
Yeah.
And after this test series, we will see who's ranked the most and all of that. We
Yeah.
will also have you guys participate. We will have.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we will work on that. The other thing is we will put a community poll for you guys to answer if we should do this in every day of the test match and the test series. This test series especially. So you guys will need to answer that. Is there something else I'm forgetting?
Yeah, just one more thing, guys. I know a lot of you are asking for a WhatsApp group or something.
Oh
We'll
yeah, that
work
correct.
that out.
Yeah. We will work that out. We'll either put that in the newsletter where you guys can put your numbers so that not like your numbers are not in public.
Yeah.
Or a Google
So
form.
we can do this, right? So quickly, all of you, there's a link in our description for the newsletter. Just sign up to that so we have your emails so we can keep you in the loop.
Yeah.
And turn on post notifications so you know when we put our community polls. That'll be the best thing because all of the communication just happens there. Instagram stories also where you can probably DM us on Instagram as well.
Yes.
So, yeah.
We'll have all of this. We will again put a community post explaining this. It will be a WhatsApp channel because that's just easy to manage, I guess, and and you should know that this WhatsApp group has been going on for a while. A lot of interesting people. We strictly talk about cricket, and it not necessarily Indian cricket. It could be any cricket, but cricket alone, and it will be moderated according to that. Of course, it's still chill. There's no formality per se, and people can whine about things, but it's still cricket. So that's something we need to keep in mind. Weekly rundown not coming this week. Unfortunately, not.
Unfortunately not.
Just because of the viewership.
Yeah, somehow it's not picked up as much as we would have liked.
We are not turning it down. We are finding ways to make it more interesting and make it seem like it's something worth watching. Because apparently not a lot of people think it's worth watching. So it's something we're working out. 3 videos per week is our goal. For now, Tuesdays and Fridays will continue to go on as it has.
Yeah.
But yes, weekly work rundown. Thank you for that, Vasudevan. That's something I had in mind. But yes, the WhatsApp group that we will work on and the community poll if you guys want us to do lives for every day of the test series.
Yep.
That is it, lads. You're in Sydney, Parth. Whoa! Montreal. Oh, Vasudevan, Montreal. Yeah, very nice.
Parth, are you going to watch the Sydney Test match?
Yeah, are you going for the Sydney Test match? You should definitely try it. Is that Boxing Day?
Might be actually.
SCG should be Boxing Day. Yeah. Wait, I shall check before we end the stream. I think it is. I think it's McGrath's the
Pink
cancer
test.
research.
Yeah. breast cancer foundation
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Let's find out. Let's find out. Boxing Day is Melbourne. I apologize. Oh, Sydney Test is New Year's.
And YouTube moderation, okay. A couple of, I think Shrikant said to have YouTube moderation. We'll understand all of these things because we're still very new to the live
Yeah,
setup.
we are
But
very new to the live, so
Yeah.
we will. No, I'll be going home during that because of summer break. Fair
Ooh,
enough. I
okay.
mean, it's a New Year's,
Hmm.
and also Mrityunjay. I think it's at least for me, it's the first time like I'm seeing your name. So hi, you're doing great. Been following you since a couple of months now.
Oh.
Way to go! You guys are the best. Thank you so much.
Thanks, bro.
How to approach you guys for professional work in cricket space?
Okay.
Ababil Patel. Just DM. I mean, Instagram DM.
Yeah, you can drop us a DM on Instagram.
Yeah.
Link is in the description. Just drop
Yeah,
us
so
a DM.
any professional work we will in cricket, we will take that up.
Yeah, yeah.
So yes, thank you guys so much for joining this test match. We will have videos coming out Tuesdays and Fridays. Tomorrow, is it tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow we will have a video on if punt can be compared to Adam Gilchrist.
Yes.
Pratip has done a brilliant work
Watch it.
breaking that down.
Yeah.
So we will have that video coming up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love your support. It's been unreal this live because we did not expect a lot of turnout, and we have a lot of people coming back to us. Shrikant, Vasudevan, Sudarshan. A lot of you guys, like, I feel like we're friends and it's chill. One
Very
day
nice.
Yeah, one day we will meet. But yeah,
Definitely. Yeah.
thank you guys so much for watching. We are gonna go. See you in the next test match. Day 1 of the test match in